Alright, hello. My name is Yaitra. Most people call me Yi. This is Tips and Tricks with Widow. Okay, so first tip with Widow is you need to constantly be changing angles. If you've been playing at this angle for more than a minute, then you need to move. You never want to be the same angle. Reason being, if you can ever, the enemy team knows where you are, it's going to be easier to A, kill you, and B, for them to dive on you. You need to constantly be rotating your position. Never think any angle is bad, alright? There are definitely bad angles you can play from, but if you get value out of it, and if there's an intent and reason behind it, I think that's better than anything. I think it's better than just sitting down looking down main, because if you're just sitting down looking down main, you're hoping for someone to get into your sights, so you're not actually intending, or there's no purpose or intent behind it other than, oh, I hope somebody will walk in my line of sights. Important thing with Widow is there are a couple things. A lot of people like having recoil, recovery, aim, compensation on. I don't like it on. I think it's off. I think it makes your shots feel off. If they're playing with it for over a month, I don't like it on. Basically, there's no every movement you make with your gun is going to be made by you. So if you're trying to recover from the recoil and trying to counteract the recoil that's already coming from your gun when it's already automatically turned to do that, it's going to mess up your shots. I would turn it off and see if you like it off, but if you like it on, nothing wrong with that. I think another tip with Widow, Vitamine. Don't just fucking throw Vitamine. Everything you do should have an intent, reason, or purpose. This Vitamine here is to stop anybody from flanking me when I'm holding this long angle. That Vitamine, if there should have a purpose. Otherwise, you see some reasons. You'll wonder why. Why would Widow put a Vitamine by their feet? Well, most Widows do that so that if they get dove, or they think that somebody's going to dive them soon, that they'll jump on them, they'll get Vitamined, they can headshot, and then they use a quick escape of grapple. Another thing, if you're taking a duel, you need to understand high ground advantage and also low ground disadvantage. You also need to understand when you're peeking into a Widow and when a Widow is peeking out into you. If a Widow is holding an angle, you need to be very careful about peeking into that angle. If she knows you're going to peek right there and you slight peek it, you're fucked. A way to deal with this is to lightly tap your shoulder out, bait out a shot, and then already have your shot full charged. So you see a couple Widows do this where they'll just tag their shoulder out, bait the shot, or take a body shot, and then they'll kill their Widow because they have a full charge shot. You have a split window to get that shot out. But you'll see a lot of Widows just jiggle peek it and then do that, because then it puts you guys at the same advantage. Same charge rate for the shots. Trick to hitting hook shots. Wait till the peak of your jump to start moving. When the most of your movement when you're going in the air should be through the flow and the direction of your grapple hook. You want to flow. You don't want to force something that's not going to happen. See how I'm flowing, and then I'm letting the grapple take me up into the air. I'm following the movement, so I'm at my peak. That's where I'm going to be the most stable. And then when I'm falling directly down, I'm falling. That's going to be harder to hit. You want to hit your shot at the peak of your jump. It's going to be the easiest, and you're going to feel the most stable. A trick. Widow is all about being disciplined, patience, as well as timing and confidence. Be aware of, missed shots, but don't let them weigh on you. If you let them weigh on you, you're going to get worried. You're going to be tense. You want to be relaxed. You want to flow. You never want to be twitchy and like this. The only reason why you'll see people like that is because they play at a very high sense, and they probably should turn it down a bit. You want to flow with your shots. Flow with your shots, and be careful with it. There's never really a bad time to pop info sights, but you never want to pop info sights right before you're going to peek something. The reason being is that when you pop info sights, you're announcing your ultimate. If you're announcing your ultimate, that means the enemy team is going to know where you're going to be for that split half second. So, if you give the enemy free information right before you're about to peek, you've just killed yourself right then and there. If you peek it, not very good. If a Widow is holding an angle, another way to do is you can hookshot up. You don't even have to go for the shot. You can just hookshot, maybe tap her. Even if you miss, it's better than just trying to take a duel into an angle that's already being held by her. Another thing.
Hello.
Widow is all about positioning, timing. Position and time. Position and time. Are you in the right spot at the right time? Okay? It's not about angles. It is, you know, there is some keys to having really good angles. But if you're watching most like Widow players, where they're positioned is always usually at the right time, right? When people are moving in. So like, let's say someone's walking out of spawn, you want to be holding the right angle, be in the correct position so that when they walk into your crosshair. Another tip, don't do more work than you need to do. If you're holding a corner, you want to make sure you're holding it head level so that people can walk into your shot. And you're like, oh, that's really stupid. Why do you do that? Well, you don't need to do more work than you need to do. Like, why make the shot harder? If this tracer was walking out to me, I'd have to flick up. But if I hold it at head level, it's just she's going to walk straight into it. You don't need to do more work than what you need to do. It's also good practice to hold angles at, or hold like angles or wherever you're holding at head level, so that when they do peek, you just click. You don't need to do that flick. You don't need to do those micro adjustments. It's less work on you, and then all you really need to do is just click and hit the shot.
Double kill. Double kill. Triple kill.
Another thing, don't move. Don't fucking move. If you're moving while you're trying to hit a shot, that AD strafing is going to cause you to miss. You need to just keep your hand off and then click. You can move, but once you click, you need to release. It's going to save you a lot in the long run. I suggest working on that. Okay. A big thing is, and this is probably the biggest thing ever, good Widow players have 5 good qualities. They have, okay. They have good mechanics, they have good reaction time, they have good positioning. Good reaction time, good mechanics, positioning. I'm trying to think if it's... decision making. Okay. I had to think about that one for a little bit. I have different words for the 4th quality. So good Widow players have good reaction time, good mechanics, good decision making, and good positioning. But the last thing is, and probably arguably the most important, is confidence. If you're confident you're going to hit a shot, you're going to hold a position that is deemed probably going to be unsafe. If you know a tracer's pushing you, you're going to hold it. This is going to give you the confidence to hit the shots. The more confident you are about hitting your shots, the better you'll play as Widow. You do not want to be ego, and you don't want to be careless. If you know that somebody's coming behind you, don't feel like you need to instantly move and run away. That's what they want you to do. They want you to just give up space for free. Don't ever give space up for free. You never want to do that. You want to hold your space, you want to hold your ground, and you want to tell them, hey, this is my fucking area, this is my high ground, this is my angle. You have to push into me. You have to push into a character that could easily one-shot you. You are the bad bitch of the town. Act like it. Okay? Not let somebody just walk in. Same thing. You know, you have your Venom mine. Line up the shot. Hit it. If you miss, grapple out. Don't run away like a baby bitch. Hit your shot. Go for it. That's very important. Confidence, confidence, confidence. And, you know, this won't instantly come. That's okay. It's going to take time to get comfortable and to know your sense and stuff. But at the end of the day, who cares? If you die, you die. At least you gave your chance, gave yourself a chance to hit the shot. Give yourself a chance to like really disrespect the enemy player or the enemy team. And it's like hell. If you're gonna die, take somebody out with you. Fuck it. If you're already dead, take someone out with you.
Triple kill. Quadruple kill.
Trying to think of any more. There's never really a bad time to put Emperor sights, but you always want to use it to your own advantage. You don't want to just give your team Emperor sights unless there's a purpose or intent. And you don't want to just save it to counter the enemy ultimate. You know, be the person who makes the first decision, right? So if the enemy Widow pops in for sights, don't feel like you need to immediately use it. If you're in a safe position, hold it. Hold it until you know that you'll have more for sights later than she will. Also, if you're in a bad position, or if you're holding an angle, and you know the enemy Widow is, and she popped in for sights, don't feel panicked. Don't run away. Hold your angle. Remember, she's going to have to peek into you. And as long as you're holding a safe angle where she'd have to go out of her way to kill you, you're perfectly fine. Because if she has to go out of her way, then you'll notice and you'll be able to kill her. It's about learning, oh, this is my area. I'm not just gonna let you take it. Another thing. So, also when hookshotting, like I said, be patient, be slow. You do not want to just flick. If you're learning to get better at Widow and you want to get better, let the grapple move you. Let it move you. It's also a good time to drop down your hook sensitivity. I keep mine at like 25 because I don't want to automatically grappling sooner than I want it to be. I want to grapple right where I point it to be, not auto lock here or auto lock here. Another thing, high ground and low ground disadvantage. See high ground, I can see, probably to like, we'll back up. Okay, so high ground advantage. I can see here. If I was in this angle, see how much of a disadvantage I have. But also, so be wary of your cover. This is a cover. This is cover. That's cover, that's cover, that's cover. But that's not cover. So use that to your advantage. But remember, you only see this little bit. And the world right here sees all of this. So you can even crouch and give yourself a slimmer angle. But remember, if you're holding an angle and a Widow peeks into you, use it to your own advantage. You know, don't let the enemy Widow, you know, just take your angle for free. Okay, shoulder peeking. 2 reasons why you do it. Beta shot, as well as to test the reaction time of the enemy Widow. If she hits her shots very fast, then you know that she is a godlike reaction time and you need to be very careful when you take a duel. It's just kind of something silly and it sounds kind of ridiculous in the long run, but it's actually really important for when you're taking the duel. You need to know your opponent. You need to kind of get a feel of how they like to play, what they like to take, what risks do they like to take, if any. You know, where do they like to position, what do they go for? Do they off angle or do they flank? Doing this simple tactic, you know, it can reveal to you, oh, okay, they didn't shoot me. They're a disciplined player. Oh, they shot me. They have high reaction time, but low discipline. Okay, I can use it to my advantage. I can bait a shot, and then I can flick and kill them. Or, oh, they didn't shoot me, and I know they're holding that angle. That means they're being patient. They're waiting. They know they're a disciplined player. They know better than to do that. Okay, I should probably play a little bit more safer. So it's just like thinking like that. You want to be thinking. You want to be thinking. Remember to always move your position. Even if you typically don't think this is a good angle to hold as Widow, give it a shot. Trial and error are best, and honestly, I can sit here and tell you what are good angles to hold on certain maps, but at the end of the day, more experience will tell you better, and also understanding what's going on in your game, how the enemy team is playing, is going to better help you more than some silly little angles that I show you. You need to get a feel of how your opponents like to play. Do they like playing low ground? Do they like going through corridors? Do they like going over there? Because I could plan for you to do, you know, what they should do, but I will never be able to actually help you for what they are doing. And that's for you to get a good feel of. Get a good feel of your opponent, get a good feel of how they like to play, get a good feel of, okay, this works and this doesn't. And the only way to really do that is to just kind of test things out. Who cares if you die a lot of times? Who cares if you miss that shot? I honestly think it's kind of fun to kind of try things out and to see, okay, this silly little angle, I got a really cool shot off, or this silly little angle gave me nothing and I sat here for 30 seconds. It's kind of important just to kind of try things and to try new stuff and give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's very important. You're a sniper. Get a shot. Also, if you want to get better at Widow, you just need, you know, practice makes perfect. Knowing your flick distance, knowing your flick range, understanding it is going to help you in the long run. I don't think you should do silly little, aim trainers outside of this game. If you want to get better at a certain game, you play that game only. Aim trainers aren't really going to help you get better. Playing that game is going to help you get better. Also, crosshairs doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what crosshair you use. It's personal preference. I've seen some players who are really good and they have huge ass crosshairs. I've seen some players who use the smallest little dot. I've seen some players use black. I've seen some players use yellow. But it's kind of personal preference and what works for your eyes. And also enemy outline color.
Next.
If you're having hard aiming with one color or with one crosshair, change it. Try things out. Find what you like, not what some fucking pro player is doing. Same for sensitivity, same for scope sense. I like doing things the same as, I like my scoped in to be the same as my unscoped. So I have all my sensitivities set to that. But, like for Ash's unscoped to be the same as scoped in would be 51.47. But I don't like that. I think it's too slow. So I changed it. I work with what I feel like fits better for me. And that's the biggest part. Finding out what works for you, what sensitivities feel natural to you, not what some fucking pro player is doing. Or what your friend says, oh, this is the best, this is the best, this is the best. I'm like, no. They can highly recommend you something, but, find what works for you, man. Some people fucking use 50 on Ash. Some people use 60. And some people just use,
Next.
the 1.6. Doesn't matter. Fucking Tayo, he uses a big ass crosshair. I don't like that. But some people, figure out what works for you. That's the biggest thing. Take time, be disciplined in your shots. Don't rush a shot. Be anxious for the setup, not for the kill. Take your time. You're playing a sniper. Snipers are very patient. And, if you're learning a new character, don't rush it. You're not going to be perfect at the start, nor are you going to be perfect middle way. And you're not going to be perfect at the end. The bottom line is, nobody's fucking perfect. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Trial and error and experience. And you finding out what works best for you, what situations has helped you improve, and, what works for you, and just practicing it, and adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. That's how you get better. Learning and improve and adjusting and constant improvement, and you're figuring out, okay, I like this, but I don't like this. Okay, this angle worked and this angle didn't. Okay, I took this duel too early. Oh, I peeked this when I shouldn't have done that. Just stuff like that. That's what's going to get you good. And understanding that you're never going to be perfect, but you can damn well try to be as close as you can. But, don't overwhelm yourself with what you could be. Focus on what you're, what you're going to do next. That will help you get to what you could be, or what you think will help you get there. Improvement and adjustments and slow and steady is going to help you do better than some stupid little aim trainer or
Salut.
fucking with your sensitivity all day. Don't do large adjustments and don't, do what feels good, do what feels natural. Da-da-da-da. Find your own playstyle, bro. But, make sure to adapt. That's the biggest thing. Adapt, adapt, adapt. That's kind of my rundown of some basic tips or tricks or thought processes and stuff. And yeah,
Salut.
let me know if there's any questions.